right, let's do it together. Let's
All
let's do
right.
this, Tamala.
All right. Hmm. So the first thing that I'm going to ask is that you get comfortable. And whatever that means for you, you can sit down, you can lie down, you can keep your eyes open, you can close your eyes. And I want you to bring your attention to your breath and just notice how your breath travels through your body, nourishing every place that it touches. Envision yourself near a body of water at sunrise. It could be a beach, river, lake, even a stream, or any other body of water. Notice that the sun is just over the horizon, and you marvel at the colors dancing in the sky. You start walking the shore, and in the distance, you see a robed figure walking toward you. A calmness embraces you. As you get closer and see a serene smile on the other's face, you recognize them as a wise and benevolent guide or ancestor. The guide says, I've come to help you release something that no longer serves you. They go on to say, I'd like you to consider a belief, behavior, feeling, or thought that has outgrown its usefulness. This could be something inherited from your ancestral line, or this can just be something that you personally carry. Once you identify what no longer serves you, notice where you find it in or around your body. Place your attention on what you notice there. The guide tells you, absent this belief, behavior, feeling, or thought, you can be your true self. All you have to do is release it. The guide shows you different ways to release the burden. Then choose how you want to release it. The guide walks you to the water's edge and says, you can release it to this body of water. The guide then digs a hole in the earth and says, you can bury it in the earth's belly. A bonfire appears, and the guide says, you can allow the fire to consume it. The guide then waves their arm and says, you can release it on the wind. Then they turn to you and ask, in which way would you like to release and be free of what no longer serves you? If you are ready to release it, the guide helps you in the way of your choosing. If you are not able to release it, the guide asks, what are you afraid would happen if you released it? It's okay to spend some time getting to know about the fears. After the release, you and your guide walk and talk the shore together. In the silence, take time to be with your God. Take another minute to finish up with your guide, knowing that you can come back and connect with them at any time. When it feels right, bring your awareness to your breath and breathe your way back into this moment in space.
Thank you, Tamala.
You're so very welcome.
Dick, do you have anything you want to add or any comments here?
Yeah, there was a point where Tamala said if the guide isn't ready to, if you're not ready to give up the burden, the guide will ask you what you're afraid would happen. And that's, I mean, legacy burdens are easier to unload when the part's ready to unload them. But there are often a lot of fears the parts have about giving them up. I don't know about you, Tamala, but I'd say the most common is I need to carry this for my people. They suffered, and it would be disloyal to not carry this all the time. And it took me a while to figure out how to address that. But speaking of ancestors, at some point, and this is people who aren't at all spiritual or ordinarily wouldn't think about doing this, but when they're in this inner world, I'll say, invite the ancestors to come and ask them if they want you to carry this for them. You know, invite your people to come and see if they really need you to do this. And almost invariably, I had one or two episodes where they said, yeah, we need you to keep it. But almost otherwise, it's always, no, you don't have to carry this for us. And that frees up the part to let it go. And then there are a number of other common fears they have about letting them go. And So we've over time come up with ways to address each of those kinds of fears. But
Tell me more about that, Dick, because
Yeah,
yeah,
I just also wanted to share the one that I run into the most is the identity one, where
yeah,
I'm afraid that I will lose my identity if I let go of
yeah,
this burden. Because what I've noticed, I primarily see folks of color. And what I notice is there's this the burden also keeps them connected to their family, to their community, to their culture. So that ends up being the biggest fear of the part. And so, one of the things that I say is that you will actually be more of yourself, more connected, have your true identity releasing this burden. Like the idea that the burden isn't them is like a surprise to the part. So knowing that they will be more of themselves, have and really be connected with their true identity is something then that the relaxes the part and allows them to release that burden.